kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
The Esports Broadcasting Network proudly presents Championship Stock Car Racing from the iRacing East Rowdy Energy Cup Series live from the Sin City, Las Vegas. This is Tony Trapasso. Joining me in the booth, Mr. Cliff Corvo, joining the broadcast team. Cliff, welcome to Vegas.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. I'm happy to be here. It's going to be a lot of fun. Playoff racing is always, fun.
Yeah, absolutely. You missed all the fireworks last week as, we had a big shakeup in the points. The round of 12, this week, starting the round of 12, race 1, we ended up eliminating Shane Posey, Scott Warren, and Shane Posey, Scott Warren, Ryan Worley, and Cedric Hunter. Now, some of you hearing the name Ryan Worley might be wondering, oh, what happened there? Ryan relinquished his round of 12 spot due to real-world commitments. He's not going to be able to race every Monday night. So leading the charge coming into this round of 12, we got Javon Cherry sitting atop the pile, Brandon Lowe's, Greg Marconi, J.D. Woodward, Connor Trafari are your top 5. Nick Kessler sitting in 6th, gaining 6 spots. after last week's second place finish. Then we have a big pileup in seventh for the remainder of our 12 drivers. 6 drivers currently tied. That's Ryan Decker, Joe Gauthier, Mark McFadden, the lone Aussie Shane Newens, league management Jason Papp, and Brandon Wilson getting inserted there with the great finish he had last week. But yeah, you absolutely picked a great night to join us, Cliff, as round of 12 racing. And if one of those guys that I just mentioned can win tonight, they automatically punch their ticket into the round of 8.
And that's the main idea, right? Punching your ticket, making your way to the next round. It's got to be on these guys' mind, race after race, until it's down to the final 4, I would presume.
Yes.
And, pretty much everything on the line these next few races. You don't want to make mistakes, and you got to race for wins. Anything less than that is not a win. And that's the best way and the easiest way to make it in is to, stack up some wins.
Yeah, absolutely. And with as strong as this field normally is from front to back, those wins don't come easily. Especially when we're on, the D-shaped demon of the desert that is Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This track is not the easiest sometimes, and it's deceptively fast the way that you have to drive this place.
That's a good way to put it. Deceptively fast.
Yeah, you can get away with 2 and 3 wide racing, but you don't want to do it for too long because stuff happens. But for the most part, you can get away with 2 wide most of the night. And the one thing that we have been seeing, and we've been preaching it most of the season, ever since the latest aero model and tire model has come out in the iRacing servers, especially later in the tire runs, that second lane really starts to pay dividends. Early on, yeah, you feel like Superman on fresh tires. But, you've driven this track as much as I have, and this track will eat tires on that low line.
Yeah, there's one thing true throughout all these tracks is that tires do not last forever. As you start laying out these laps, those tires eat away, and if you're not paying attention to that throughout the night, you're going to end up with no grip at the end of what should have been a long run and could possibly be a shorter run thanks to your lack of rubber.
Absolutely is. Live qualifying getting ready to go underway. Joe Gauthier bringing the 67 Nerditudes car out first to try to set his qualifying time. His teammate Shane Posey is there with him, as is defending Friday night champion Connor Trafari. All those guys are rolling right now. Gauthier bringing it into 3 and 4 to start his first flyer. Now, these guys are going to get 2 laps, so plenty of time left in this session as Gauthier comes across the stripe to take the green for his first lap. Just follow along with him a little bit. You can see him. He'll duck down low in the corners, hugging that white line down there that notifies you where the apron is. Hauls it down the Nellis back straightaway. Nice, tidy line for Gauthier right now in that Jimmy John's number 67. And nice, tidy line through 3 and 4, too. I mean, that's some decent driving there out of the 67. Let's see what the first lap is going to post up for him as he brings it down to the apron. 31.535. Connor Trafari goes second quick at a 32 flat. Shane Posey immediately bumps him off, going sub 32. And those are some pretty strong laps so far out of Gauthier and Posey. Both of them in the playoff rounds here. Actually, I take that. Go ahead.
I hate to interrupt you. I'm not getting a video feed from iRacing for this qualifying session for some reason.
Did you log in as a spectator?
Yes, sir, I did. I am watching. I still have the iRacing.com splash in the corner, and my UI will come up if I hit the space bar, but unfortunately I'm not, for whatever reason, receiving the actual video feed. So we're going to try to get that sorted out if you want to continue to talk about what's going on in qualifying.
Yeah, we'll do a radio broadcast for right now.
We're still here. We're going to try to get it figured out.
Connor Trafari goes to the top of the pile with a 31.284. Good grief, Connor. Leaves him on the table for the rest of the guys. Mark McFadden in the 5 now out on track. Looks like he's got Flintstone sponsorship on that right now, I believe. No, it's Captain Caveman. He goes 4th quick again with a 31. Goes 31.5 for that lap. Greg Marconi finally rolling, as is JD Woodward. So far, the only guy that hasn't or that has posted a time that is not in the playoffs is Shane Posey, which unfortunately he got eliminated last week at Bristol as Marconi going through 1 and 2 on the high side. Looks like he's trying to get that number 12 wound up. Different paint scheme on the car this week. Got the body armor, Captain America theme, it looks like. So good on you, Greg. You got rid of that horrid looking green thing you were running last week. But Henry Wyndham in the 228 out on track as well. Marconi comes across for a 32 flat, as does JD Woodward, 32.000 for the driver of the number 47. Now, we know JD's not going to be happy with that one, so he's really going to crank it up here on this second lap. But Marconi currently sitting in 6th. Short field here tonight, and that's kind of surprising, considering that it is the first round of 12. As Woodward comes across for his second lap, 31.333. So that's going to put him 3rd quick. Marconi 31.332. So 1/1000th of a second separating Marconi and Woodward. Marconi currently 49 hundredths off of Connor Trafari. So about the distance from the front of the car to the back side of the front fender for them. Between Woodward and Marconi, turn your flip-flop sandals sideways, and that's about the distance. That is going to about do it for qualifying. Only about 10 seconds left in the Q session. So Braden Black, Shane Newens, Jason Papp, and Brandon Lowe's all electing to not take time. They'll be lined up according to their I rating as cars starting to grid up now. Quick rundown of the starting order. Connor Trafari going to start on point. His arch rival, Greg Marconi, going to be starting right dead next to him. JD Woodward in the Valvoline number 47 starts inside row number 2. He's going to be joined with the 90 of Nick Wing. Then row number 3 gives us Shane Posey and Joe Gautier, the 2 Nerdertudes teammates, going to roll off in row 3. Row 4 gives us Mark McFadden and Henry Wyndham. Brandon Lowe's and Ryan Worley. No, I'm sorry. Come on, sort out. Brandon Lowe's and Jason Papp roll off in row 5. Row 6 gives us Shane Newens and Ryan Worley, and the 36 of Braden Black. In his first actual race start, possibly, I believe he just left the session, should be starting shotgun on the field in 13th. So relatively short field here tonight, 140 laps, relatively low, cool conditions for the Las Vegas Metroplex, 79-degree ambient air temperature, only 81-degree track temperature, 1 fast repair, 5 sets of tires. The tires that they ran qualifying in are the same set of tires they have to start the race on, and then they've got 4 sets in their pocket to get them 140 laps. As the field starts rolling, well, Trafari going to have the button. Cliff, are you back with us?
Yeah, and I think I finally get everything sorted out. I'm really sorry about that. Keep on rolling, man. You're doing a great job. I finally got the grid up. We are following. Well, we're going to try to follow the front runners here.
Absolutely. Field just started rolling behind the Chevy Silverado pace truck, the official pace truck of iRacing. And go ahead.
Were you able to get through the whole grid?
We did.
Okay, great. Well, I'll get that out of there then, and we'll go ahead and get prepared for a green flag.
Absolutely. As the field works its way down the Nellis back straightaway, Trifari going to have the button. Arch nemesis Greg Marconi going to be starting outside him in that body armor number 12. Sharp paint scheme tonight, and I've got to give Nick Wing some credit. I'm loving the STP throwback scheme on the number 90 tier tonight.
That is a
So
great
field,
looking car.
absolutely. Field working its way through the 3-4 complex. Pace truck getting ready to haul it on off. The only thing that's left to say is you're going to adjust the visor one final time. Make sure that 5-point safety harness is nice and tight. Give the steering wheel a nice tug. Make sure it's where it needs to be. As the pace truck peels on off, race fans, it's showtime! Green flag comes out. Trifari has the 47 of Woodward all over his back bumper right now. Marconi not able to.
Now he'll dive down in behind the 47, trying to make that top line work, but thinks better of it. Grabs that white line.
Absolutely. As Trifari protecting the inside lane, Woodward going to try to get the run on the second lane as they come out of turn number 4 side by side, and that is Posey going up to the top side as well. Trifari down almost into the grass coming through the tri-oval, and give the first lap to Trifari. Bonus point there for the 9. Every point counts here moving forward.
Connor Trifari, he's got the three cars now diving to the top, trying to make a pass up here. Looks like McConey might have put on a little bit of a block on JD Woodward in that 47. 83 of Shane Posey's going to sit there and watch on from behind them and maybe hope for a mistake or two.
Absolutely, as Woodward gives Marconi a shove coming through the tri-oval. Give the lap to Marconi, so bonus point so far. Let's see who else in the playoffs can earn one tonight. As, again, relatively small field as we got a little 3-car kind of tango going on right now. Joe Gautier slugging it out with Nick Wing, and here comes Woodward to the inside of Marconi.
Woodward dove to the bottom there just in front of the 9 of Trifari. These guys are going to continue to shuffle it up. I think they're all hungry to lead a lap here in the beginning.
Give the lap to Woodward across the stripe there. So 3 playoff drivers already getting a bonus point each.
Here comes the 83 of Posey.
That's the 83 of Posey and the 67 of his teammate Gautier, as they are trying to make some headway here. And freight train on the inside line, Woodward and Posey, the only two trying to run that second lane. Marconi drifts up coming off of 4. One more lap led for Connor Trifari, as you've raced with Connor yourself, and you know as well as everybody that's watched these broadcasts, Connor does not like to follow anybody.
No, Connor likes to lead. Connor likes to get around people as soon as he can. And it looks like he'll come up and try to lead a lap here now. Got the 12 on the outside. McConey trying to fight back. They're side by side. Who's going to get this one coming across the line? Like McConey will get the edge. That was close, but that's going to go to McConey. Connor's going to try to pull ahead now. He really wants to lead a lap here, get one of those bonus points that everybody else is grabbing. You don't want to be the only one out here not leading a lap.
Well, that's Gautier coming up behind Trifari, as Trifari's got a bonus point, Woodward's got a bonus point, and Marconi's got a bonus point. Now, there is one other bonus point up for grabs, and that is most laps led, and there's also a bonus point for 0 incidents. So something to be mindful of, as Trifari currently sitting in the catbird seat with 2 bonus points because he got the point for pole position, as Gautier throws it to the outside line going down the Nellis back straightaway. 3 wide drag race into turn number 3.
Man, to say that these guys aren't hungry to get up here at the front would be an understatement. They're going 3 wide for the lead here, stretching it back out to 2 wide. They'll be side by side, almost coming across the line. The 12 will fall back side by side with the 9. You get the 13 and 67 right behind them. Small gap behind them, and some of these other cars from deeper in the field are starting to catch up to this pack, as they had about a second gap between the top 6 and then the rest of the field. Like they're starting to catch back up. They've got lined up behind them, got some freight train action coming.
Absolutely, as that is the all-black ace of Jason Papp who, like you mentioned, was about a second behind this group, but because that 5-car breakaway started battling amongst themselves, that allowed Pap and company to reel them back in. As Marconi and Gautier go side by side, Marconi relegated back to 4th. He's going to lose another one to his teammate, Jason Pap, as Pap works the inside, and here comes Posey to the inside as well. Connor Trafari continuing to show the way. Gautier showing a lot of patience right now, sitting in the slipstream of the number 9. That Jimmy John's number 67 has shown speed all season long. Unfortunately, though, he's been caught up in a lot of other people's dumpster fires. But Gautier right now trying to make something happen in that second lane. He's got some help with Jason Pap as a drafting partner as they haul it off out of turn number 2 and down the Nellis back straightaway one more time. We were getting ready to put 10 laps in the books this time across the stripe.
10 laps down not 10 laps down, but 10 laps under our belt here at Las Vegas. I think the front runners will start to get lined up a little bit. As I say that, Jason Pap will make a move on the outside of the 67 before, for all intents and purposes, I was going to say it kind of calmed down a little bit up front, but nope, not for long. The 9 gets a little bit loose there. Connor Trafari does. Joe Gautier is going to try to pass him now. Looks like on the outside here.
I don't think
that
you're
black
live.
one.
Trafari wrestled the spot away as Gautier did get that bonus point for leading the lap, that previous lap. Here comes Posey on the high side in the 83, working their way out of turn number 2. That's Woodward to the inside of Posey. Posey with a good run down the Nellis back straightaway. He's got the draft from Trafari. He's going to get the clear on Woodward, and they're bringing Brandon Lowe's with them in the 25. Now, you might notice Lowe's running a different kind of number scheme as he gets a great run coming through the front chute, wrestles the lead away from both of them, and he's got Marconi in his draft.
I think he just passed 2 or 3 cars at once.
He did. Definitely picked off Trafari and Posey as Lowe's looking to get his bonus point, as we do have a lot of guys that are in the round of 12 that are not here tonight. So it's going to be a huge points implication if one of these guys, if like Braden Black or Braden Black did not start, but if Posey or Nick Wing or Henry Wyndham can win tonight, that's going to really throw a monkey wrench into the works going into the next 2 rounds, because they've basically just started to play spoiler. As Marconi now leads it coming out of 4. Pap working the inside of Posey coming down the front chute. Pap gets the spot away, and he's going to bring Mark McFadden with him in the 5. 3 wide for the lead.
Carlos gets lined up now in the front. Top 4 cars trying to get in line here a little bit and try to probably just start to tick off some laps. As you know, every time I say they're calming down a little bit, they seem to get a little more aggressive. So let's see if that happens again. The 12 to 9, Greg McConey and Connor Trafari first and second. You got JD Woodward, your top 3. Just for my own edification, that Jason Pap number 1, is that supposed to be an all-black car there?
Yes, sir, it is. It's his little protest to where they're going to be placing the numbers next season in the real world.
I like it.
Which you can see on the 25 of Lowe's. If you'll notice on that car, the number is a little bit more forward in the window than, say, Pap or Trafari's cars are. Something NASCAR is going to be playing with next season, and there's a lot of people unhappy with that. But right now, the battle really rages on for the lead here tonight, as Marconi and Trafari just throwing hammer and tongs. Now they have gotten to the point where you've worn all the goodie off these Goodyear Eagles. So unfortunately, you're really going to have to get up on the wheel at this point, as Nick Wing trying to make a move now on the inside of Posey. Posey going to get the run down the back straightaway, drag race into turn number 3. Now that is for the 5th spot. And it's Wing on the inside, Posey on the high side. Posey's got some friendly company as that's Joe Gauthier, his teammate, right behind him. I believe they are the only Nerditudes drivers that did show tonight, as the battle still rages on at the front of this thing. Connor Trafari in the 9 just glued to the back bumper of Marconi. Marconi protecting that inside line, and looks like Trafari was trying to get Marconi a little bit loose, and unfortunately, it got himself loose. It's going to open up the inside off of 4. Trafari with the run to the line. Almost contact coming into the tri-oval. Give the lap to Trafari.
Just want to take a moment to apologize for some of the technical difficulties we're having here tonight. I'm working with some different files that I don't normally work with, so things are not where I usually have them as far as buttons and such, so please bear with us as we work through it.
Perfectly fine, sir. As again, welcome to the ESPN portion of the broadcast team. Now, for those of you who are wondering what's going on and where the Pommy Brit is, and I say that with all love because he's my brother from another mother. ESPN has been sold. Now, what does that mean? Well, currently it means that Sam Cooper Bennett has left the broadcast booth. You might see him on track in some series coming up. Byron Rodney is still with the company. Frank Marchese has gone to real world work as a producer, working at a radio station in the greater, I believe it's San Diego Metroplex. So congratulations to Frank for procuring that job. Good on him for that, and we wish Frank all the best. Sam wanted to step away from broadcasting as real world commitments were starting to get in the way. So we have now brought in a new broadcast partner. It is the
Sim Racing Media.
Thank you. And we got a caution.
Caution will fly as we're not paying attention.
Nick Wing going the wrong way, and Pap's involved too.
Take a look at what happened here if we can.
Looks like Wing tried to pinch Pap going down the back straightaway. Oh.
Gonna be a hard lick right there to the inside wall, that black one.
Absolutely. Pap just headlong into the outside wall and then headlong into the inside wall. And unlike many other tracks, there are no safer barriers on the inside of this track. And
heavy
I
damage
believe
there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Brandon Lowe's and Shane Posey both catching a piece of that one. So that's going to make a long night even longer as it brings out caution number 1. Lap 24, so expect wholesale pit stops. These guys will come down and get 4 in fuel here. But, yeah, it looked like Wing was just trying to pinch Pap down to not let him get the run off of 2 going down the straightaway, and Pap didn't realize that was going on, and unfortunately there's a meeting of the minds. And so, yeah, just about everybody who's in this race is now on pit road. Jason Pap, unfortunately, having to tow it. Good news is this league does use 1 fast repair. Bad news is he's already 2 laps down.
Yeah, that fast repair is not going to be too helpful when he's already a couple laps down, although he will get a new fresh car and hopefully be able to stay competitive out there. And maybe, they do say cautions breed cautions. We'll see if we get another one, maybe another 2, and get his couple laps back there and have a fresh car. I've seen stranger things happen, but from what I've seen so far, these guys don't really mess around, and there's a lot of talent out here. So cautions may be few and far between.
Absolutely, is J.D. Woodward's Valvoline number 47 winning the battle off pit road. he had a little bit better cone-to-cone time than did Connor Trifari. Trifari had the better in-box time, but Woodward able to win the battle to that exit cone and wrestle the lead away from Trifari. Now, the big question is, when we go back to green, is Woodward going to take the inside lane or the outside lane? Because the leader does get lane choice on restarts. So Woodward, Trifari, Marconi, Gautier, Posey, Lowe's going back down pit road to try to get some of that damage fixed. So Posey in fifth, Mark McFadden, Henry Wyndham, Shane Newens, and Nick Wing going to be your top 9, as Lowe's again trying to pit farm that car, hoping to not hoping to not have to burn his fast repair. Just gets a little bit of more damage fixed, as he did have some front end damage. As the lights are out on the Chevy Silverado pace truck, Woodward and Trifari going to have the button. Woodward electing to take the inside lane. We're about to see what's going to happen here as the field works its way through the 3-4 complex one more time. Pace truck is going to pick up a little bit of speed here, as Woodward has the button. Coming out of turn number 4, pace truck getting ready to make that hard left turn onto pit road, handing the control of the race over to Woodward. As there it goes, and here we go, as Trifari pinching down Marconi all over the back bumper of Woodward. Green flag back in the air. Decent run for Gautier on the high side, and here comes Posey on the inside as well. Drag race into turn number 1. Here we go for the lead.
Woodward getting a little bit of an edge over McConey and Trifari right behind him as they come down. They stay down in the white line coming down the backstretch. A little bit like Talladega there coming down that backstretch. Not something I've witnessed, I don't think, at Las Vegas before, but I don't know if I've ever actually watched a Vegas race with these new next-gen cars, so this could be some new things that I'm seeing. But these guys are definitely back at it up front as Shane Posey jumps all the way up to second.
Absolutely. Posey with a good run on the inside, trying to wrestle it away from Marconi. Woodward tries to throw the block, realizes Posey is there. Posey with a head of steam coming off of 4, and he's going to bring Connor Trifari with him, relegating Woodward back to 3rd. Almost gets into Marconi coming through the tri-oval. Posey gets the lap led. Bonus point for Posey, as here comes Trifari back to the inside. And we have 10 cars, 11 cars still in the race.
Pap is coming back on.
Pap was able to come back on, albeit 2 laps down, as Woodward now shoving the daylights out of Posey coming off of 4.
And this track right here in these cars is making this look a lot like something more like a super speedway. And my question to you, sir, is how much are these cars aero dependent, even at an intermediate track like this?
Pretty heavily, I would say.
Looks like.
And the biggest thing is you've got to be careful of that front splitter and that rear diffuser. So you can't take too many shots to the back bumper like you can in the current generation of Cup car that you see on Sunday nights on your local TV station. But these cars have a diffuser like you would see on like a GT3 car or a prototype car. There's a lot of underbody aero on these cars, and you've got to be real careful about the front bumper and back bumper now, more so than ever before in NASCAR. And the other thing to keep in mind too, you don't want to bang the wall too many times, because the independent rear suspension on this car is very easy to bend.
Yeah, that's probably more important to keep in the back of your mind, because getting into the wall in the older car, you know, you could brush it pretty good without causing too much damage. More body really than suspension, but it sounds like these cars are a little more fragile in that suspension department.
at least for right now. And we're probably going to see this car change quite a bit over the next year as it becomes the actual real world Cup car. Because right now the aero package that these cars have is actually a road course aero package, because that was where NASCAR wanted the whatever race that was that they wanted broadcasted on iRacing.
Oh, the Chicago street course.
Yeah, to debut this car. So the only thing that they really have is the actual road course aero package, and it wreaks havoc on tracks where you're aero dependent like you are here. And it's even more fun to watch the races at Pocono, because if you don't have drafting help, you're not getting by the guy in front of you, plain and simple. Because as soon as you get alongside, like you see Posey and Trafari doing right now, on anything bigger than a mile and a half, you're going to stall out and you're going to hemorrhage spots.
Yeah, you can see it here as they pretty much get nose to tail coming down the backstretch, and whichever group of cars has got either more cars or more cojones is the ones that are faster down the backstretch. The 9 trying to jump in there.
Yeah, Trafari was trying to side draft off of Woodward to kill his momentum, and it didn't quite work, as Trafari drops back from second to third. Posey still showing the way. Woodward sitting there. And how about Henry Wyndham in the 228? We don't talk about Henry too much, but currently sitting in the number 4 spot in that Kellogg's Cornflake number 228. Good on you, sir. As here comes Marconi to the outside of McFadden to try to wrestle the 5th spot away from him. Wyndham working the inside of Woodward right now, up into the number 3 spot. He's still got Mark McFadden right there in lockstep. McFadden just won another Hornet race at his home track just the other day, so good on you, sir, for doing that. As
Henry Wyndham here wants to get up and lead this thing. He's not in the top 12, so he doesn't have much to lose other than this race. I'm expecting to see him push pretty hard right here. This is kind of a really good opportunity for him to come up and try to steal a win away from some of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're Wyndham or Shane Posey right now, if you could win here tonight, that really throws a monkey wrench into the plans of everybody else that is in the playoffs, being as they are non-playoff drivers. As Trafari back to the point, and I'm thinking Posey's just trying to figure out how he's got to time his runs. Is they're 3 wide across the stripe for a second.
47 dove down, took the exit out, and came back right in, and ended up with 2nd place here, right in front of the 228 of Wyndham. Awesome move there to grab 2nd place.
Very much so. As Trafari goes down to protect that low line going into 3. Shallow entry could come back to bite him a little bit later in the race, as Woodward plastered to his back bumper right now. Woodward down on the apron. Got to be careful, because there's nothing in the rule books that says that Trafari had to let him back up. But being as we are only 40 laps into this 140 lap event, they all know that there's a lot of racing left to do. Is there 3 wide drag race down the Nellis back straightaway? Give it to Posey going into 3.
Almost 4 wide there, getting into the corner. Some of these drivers think better of it. You're definitely not going to get around here very easily. 4 wide, getting into turn 1. Sorry, that was probably not turn 1. But as they come across the stripe, Posey in that 83 and the 12 of Greg McConey going to pull away just a little bit from Connor Trafari. These guys are going to stack back up and catch right back up using that aero push. A little bit of help from the slipstream. They're going to see him dive right in behind the other cars, the car in front of them. As you were saying, just not going to really give him a hard shove like you would at Daytona or Talladega. With that diffuser and the real, not necessarily a street race car, but much more designed like one, with the undercarriage and the fins and the even the new suspension. These cars are just an amazing race car, and even if you're not into the style, you got to give it up for what they're doing, and how forward thinking these cars are.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because you got to figure that for years NASCAR ran what they called a
Whoa.
truck arm,
Rewinding the
Big.
47, almost getting into the 9. Sorry about that.
and that goes back to what I was saying earlier. But if you go down on the apron, there's nothing that says the guy to your outside of you has to let you back up. But you got to remember, for years, NASCAR ran what they called the truck arm rear suspension. It was these long I-beam looking metal or steel lengths that you would find on a Chevy C-Series truck back in the late 60s, early 70s. Trafari goes for a wild one coming through too. That's Wyndham in the middle with the draft off Marconi, and he's got Posey pushing him. But the fact that they're going to independent rear suspension like you would see on your normal passenger car, into the wall.
It was only a matter of time. I was watching it. The 90 comes flying through the infield. I knew something was going to give, but we'll actually stay green here for at least the moment as the 90 gets going again.
And that started with Trafari and the 228 of Wyndham. And unfortunately, one of them didn't realize the other one was there. They looked a little bit like one was trying to pinch down, one was trying to get the run up. And unfortunately, blackjack, everybody lose.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'm amazed that these drivers kept it straight, though. Unfortunately, the 9 did go around, but was able to get it turned back and headed in the right direction sooner than later, and will stay green. So, wow, hats off to those guys for keeping it going. That could have surely caused a lot more trouble.
Absolutely, as we now have a little bit of a breakaway here at the front. That's Marconi, Woodward, McFadden, Posey, and Gautier. Then you're over 4 seconds back to the 25 of Brandon Lowe's. And looks like Jason Papp in the all-black Ace is trying to get one of his laps back the hard way as he's hanging with this top group right now in that fresh race car. And I would have to venture a guess that these guys are about halfway through their current fuel run as Wyndham into the pits, Wing into the pits. Looks like Trafari is going to try to limp it as long as he can. And
he's going to try to jump out of the way here.
He's driving a pavement modified now. That car, he's got to get that thing fixed. But the field works its way around him safely. And it looks like Jason Papp is dropping off just a little bit from this group and starting to get a little sorted out as tire wear is starting to rear its ugly head. And you're going to see who the wheelmen are getting up on that steering wheel and wrestling these cars around for the next 10 to 15 laps before they're going to need to bring it down for fuel.
J.D. Woodward is going to try to make a pass here on Greg McConey for the lead. He lines him up here right behind, down on that white line. He's got a good run coming out, but not quite enough to get up to the 12's bumper. He'll fall back just a little bit.
Well, we're to that point in the tire run where you're more reliant on aero grip than anything else at this point because all the mechanical grip from those tires is just about gone. So you can see Woodward gets a draft down the Nellis back straightaway. He's able to close the gap. But as soon as they get to the corner, it's aero push city for anybody in the wake of somebody else. Here comes Posey on the high side in the 83. He's got to be careful because that's going to let Mark McFadden get to his inside. Posey with the drafting help down the front chute, though, as they are side by side for third, still hauling it off into turn number 1. And you got to think McFadden's a sitting duck as looks like Trafari has finally gotten that car fixed, burned his fast repair to get that thing back down and underway.
Yeah, I don't think he had a choice in that one. He had a decent amount of damage. It was either that or probably call it a night, because with that car looking the way it was probably going to take a while to get it fixed up. They shuffle
Nick
around
Wing has decided to put it on the hauler too.
That's an unfortunate move for the 90. Takes a ride through the infield, then that truck or car to the hauler. They'll get ready for next week.
Absolutely. As they work their way into turn number 3 again, Posey trying to make something happen, goes to the outside to get some clean air to the front splitter of that Toyota Camry, and that's going to let JD Woodward use the draft of the leader, Greg Marconi. And here comes McFadden with a head of steam in that Ford Mustang, right down on the yellow line as Gauthier trying to reel these guys in to stay with them. They're over 5 seconds to the good over current 6th place. Brandon Lowe's, Shane Newens is another 7 seconds back, and then you've got lap cars. As right now, Jason Papp and Connor Trafari going hammer and tongs right now, is that is for position between Papp and Trafari. So you're guaranteed a top 9 here tonight, which, considering we are in the round of 12, that's huge points implications for the guys that didn't show up here tonight. And I believe we're at Dega next week, if I'm not mistaken. Whoa,
Ooh.
Big moment coming through 3. Looks like a little bit of chrome horn action from Posey to Woodward. Tag, you're it, brother.
Yeah, I don't know if the 83 wanted to do that. However, it's really going to cause a little bit of an issue with his arrow, or it seemed substantial enough to me, as the 47 almost got a free ride around.
Absolutely, as Marconi pinches it off, coming off a 2. Had to chase it down the track a little bit. That's going to let Woodward get the run going into 3. Posey going to lose some headway, though. He's got to be careful because here comes McFadden. But he does have his teammate on that high line for drafting help in the form of Joe Gauthier. Now, Gauthier is in the playoffs. Posey is not. And considering that they're the only 2 in this top 5 that have a teammate there, you got to think that they're talking back and forth right now, trying to get one of them to win this piece. Almost 3 wide.
The 83 dives up behind the 47, trying to grab some of that draft. 12 and the 47, side by side, JD Woodward and Greg McConey. We've seen it pretty much all night long. You're looking at a couple of drivers that'll probably be up front at the end of this one. 83 trying to steal a win away from some of these playoff drivers.
And Posey had a big moment going into 1, had tons of arrow push with how close he was to Woodward. Able to get it sorted out as Marconi drifts up and almost gets into Gauthier coming off a 4. Gauthier has to climb on the binders. That's going to let McFadden get to his inside. As right now, Woodward and Posey starting to walk away, but here comes Marconi trying to battle back, getting up into 3rd as they're side by side for 4th.
And behind them, back to 5th is, or actually 6th, I should say. Quite a bit of a gap, but these 3 are trying to line up and possibly use some of that draft to get a good head of speed and catch up to this top group. Got the Brandon Lowe's in the 25, and he's actually the only one there for position, or on the lead lap, I should say. He's surrounded by Jason Papp and Connor Trafari, both laps down. So the 3 of them trying to work together to catch up to that top group. But the real beneficiary there would be Brandon Lowe's if they can catch this front group.
Absolutely, but the thing to keep in mind, Papp and Trafari are for position. Those guys are both currently sitting 2 laps down, and so it would benefit all 3 of them is if they get back up towards that front group. If they can work together, it's going to behoove all 3 of them, as they're still jockeying this thing around up towards the front. As we are getting ready to put lap 60 in the books. They're 35 laps into this current fuel stint. of 140 as Posey, Woodward, Marconi, McFadden, Gautier, your top 5, still just hammer and tongs up here in that breakaway.
Yeah, any one of these 5 cars really has an opportunity here to get up and lead to some laps. You're probably looking at the 5 cars to beat with some of the other, with the 90 out and with Henry Wyndham. He had a fast car. Unfortunately, he's taking it to the hauler. But some of these faster cars are out of here. And you got Jason Papp, Connor Trafari, 1 lap down. So I'm looking at these top 5 right now as, where I would place my bets if I were going to. But out of these top 5s, I couldn't tell you. They've been jockeying around all race. So it's going to be hard to say who's going to be the dominant one at the end. I haven't seen any real car standing out quite yet, as you see Woodward makes another pass on that 83 to take back the top spot.
Absolutely. Is the biggest thing is when we get ready to go to a green flag pit stop, are you going to have anybody going with you? And are you going to be able to work with them as far as getting into your box, them getting into their box, and neither one of you getting popped for a penalty? Get your 4 tires, fresh tank to go fast, and then work together to, leg it out like you would see on a restrictor plate track. Because that's the one thing we're seeing here tonight. If you can get some help drafting wise, you can start to make some headway, as right now Marconi looking to work with Woodward as they're starting to stretch their legs, and those guys behind him are still battling for third.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got the 67 who's trying to get by a little bit of a group of cars there, and I don't know, I thought they were kind of holding him up a little bit. He finally gets by. They straighten it out, and he'll make a charge here for third, try to catch up and get by the 83 of Shane Posey.
Well, that is his teammate, so he's got to be real careful. Now, the other thing, too, is because these guys are going at it as hard as they are, that trio of Papp, Lowe's, and Trafari are starting to reel them in. What was a almost 6-second gap is now down to just under 2 seconds. So they are making some headway as the battle for second now rages between Posey and Marconi. Posey looking to get his teammate to go with him. That's Gautier in the 67. As Marconi and McFadden working that second lane. Woodward's got to be loving this in his rearview mirror. It's like, yeah, go ahead, guys. You guys battle it out. I'm just going to walk away.
He sure is, but what I'm noticing is you can't really walk away too far before a couple of cars get lined up and catch right back up to you. So as good as he's feeling, it will go away here in another half a lap as this 83 gets a push from either the 12 or the 67. You choose. And here he is now right up back to the bumper of the 47. So that draft is ever so important, and we're going to see that probably come right down to the last lap.
Well, the fact that they're starting to get single file leads me to believe that we're not that far away from green flag pit stops. As that's Woodward, Posey, Gautier, Marconi, and McFadden in your top 5. Brandon Lowe's really making some headway as he runs behind the all-black number 1 of Jason Papp, and Posey to the point coming off a 2.
So look now, Woodward will try to take that spot back, coming up down the backstretch using that high line. He's got the 83 down on the bottom. The line is on the bottom though. They're going to have the momentum coming out of that corner as the 47 will drop back 2 spots to 4th. And have to find someone to jump in behind and get a little tow as the 67 now takes the lead away from the 83 of Shane Posey. He'll be alone up there in the top side. 4 cars lined up towards the bottom. Big Joe Gautier will come across and lead a lap as well tonight.
Absolutely. So an all-important bonus point for one of the playoff drivers. So that is now 4 playoff drivers that have scored a bonus point. Gautier, Marconi, Woodward, and Trafari. So again, every point counts here moving forward. And with Trafari having the problems that he's having, Getting that one bonus point could mean the difference between making it to the round of 8 and not making it to the round of 8, as this is race number 1 of the round of 12 for the Rowdy Energy Cup Series, brought to you by the iRacing East Series. Again, if you like what you're seeing, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, share, turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action. And don't look now, but Jason Papp and Connor Trafari and Brandon Lowe's have now all caught this lead pack, so we are now bunched back up. 9 cars, all still motivating this track, and 2 of them are lapped down, racing for position right now. That's Trafari on the low side, Papp on the high side. That is for position number 8.
One thing to note here, too, is that Trafari's running with fresher rubber than the cars around him. As well as, Nicholas, they're actually off track. But Connor Trafari's got the freshest tires out here. And he's trying to make some quick work from some of these guys that have some older rubber. And he's probably going to end up staying out here when a lot of these cars decide to take it down.
Well, we're about to see what's going to happen, because they are currently 48 laps into this current fuel run for everybody except Trafari, who's only 22 laps into his fuel run. As a little bit of a 3-car tango up at the front. That's Marconi, Woodward, and Posey. And then you've got an angry pack of wolves behind him as Jason Papp doing everything he can to try to get one of his laps down back the hard way as he goes around Gautier. Gautier is currently sitting in Gautier currently sitting in 4th, as Papp with a head of steam, getting a great draft coming down the front chute, going into 1 and 2. The question is he going to be able to maintain that head of steam, as it's a traffic jam in front of him?
Yeah, he's got nowhere really to go, no real decisions to make other than keep it going. As it now opens up a little bit in front of him, he's going to have to eventually make the decision which way to go if he's going to try to make a pass. He's actually falling back a little bit now as he loses that draft from the rest of the group. So we're seeing how important it is. If you're going to come up and try to make some moves to the front, you're going to need some help. And if the rest of the drivers don't give you that help, you're going to fall backwards. Unfortunately, Jason Papp falling back, trying to make his way to the front to get his lap back. Not going to be able to get it done. Oh, the 47 gets a shove from the 9 of Trafari, who is not on the lead lap.
No, Trafari and Papp were for position.
Yeah, Trafari and Papp are fighting for position here, and it's almost like, the opposite of what you would normally see. The front runners trying to avoid the lap down guys, but you've got them fighting for position in the same group of cars here. You can't really ask for much more, can you?
No, absolutely not. As if Trafari can get his lap back the hard way and the caution were to come out, that would put Trafari back on the lead lap, getting the free pass there. As Trafari throws it to the inside of Posey right now. Again, Posey trying to play spoiler here tonight. And almost contact coming off at 2. Trafari on the low line, Posey on the high line. You got to think that Trafari's got a little bit of an advantage here. But Posey's got that drafting help with Marconi and able to carry a ton more momentum than Trafari is. And Trafari looks like he might be starting to drop back because he's got no drafting help.
Yeah, without that help, he goes the wrong way. The 83 and 12 are nose to tail. They've got the draft there, so they're pulling away a little bit. The 9 does get, he's doing everything he can to stay in front of that 1 who's at the tail end of this little group. So he's doing what he's got to do, but unfortunately wasn't able to get up there and get his lap back. But he's going to keep fighting for it. He's going to keep trying. They will, unfortunately, run out of fuel pretty soon here. We're gonna see this run come to an end if it stays green, and we'll have to see how that strategy works out. Because Trafari's gonna have fresher tires than the 1, so I'm wondering how that's gonna go. The 1 is definitely gonna need some tires. Will the 9 of Trafari come down with them, or will he try to stay out and get that lap back?
I would dare say he's probably going to stay out to try to get that lap back. But the other thing you got to consider too.
Oh, trouble!
Contact.
12 Marconi goes around with help. I believe that might have been from the 9.
That was a lot of help. And that started with the 47 getting into the 9. 9 had to chase it down the track. Marconi, just a victim of circumstance, and pancakes the left side of the body armor number 12. He is going to have to burn his fast repair. And there's your answer right there. As I believe the free pass now is going to go to Jason Papp because Trafari was involved in that one.
Yeah, the 9's going to help turn the 12 there.
And if you back that up a couple more frames, Woodward actually got into the 9 coming off a 4. And Trafari had to chase it down the track as Ryan Worley joined in the fray. Unfortunately, that car would not start when it came time to grid, but plenty of time to try to make up some laps here. Hoping for a top 10, but again, Worley electing to bow out of the round of 12, being as he wasn't sure he was able to make the remaining races, and connection issues have been a little skeptical at best for the driver of the 00. So welcome to the fray, Ryan. As drag race off pit road, give it to Shane Posey. Woodward, Gautier, Lowe's in that order. Marconi able to salvage a top 5 as he did have to burn his fast repair, as you would expect after completely annihilating the left side of a car. But
well, just what these drivers ordered, a caution flag to come in and top off the tanks, get some fresh rubber, get some water into your system, and get ready to go do it again, as they'll probably, well, I mean, they'll definitely try to get finish this under a long green flag run from here on out, but, you know, you can't count anything out here.
Absolutely. So here's the good news. If you are a Jason Papp fan, he did get the free pass, and now he's able to get that car serviced relatively for free, as Connor Trafari has to stay out. No, Trafari brought it down as well to try to get on the same pit strategy. But now Papp and Trafari, not so much of a big deal, as Trafari still 2 laps down. Papp now only 1 lap down, as Worley brings it in to make sure he's on the same pit strategy as the rest of his Dudes Racing teammates, as this is about to get fun, ladies and gentlemen. So we are just past the halfway mark. And Cliff, if you want to take a commercial break, we can. If not, we can stay with this.
Yeah, we might as well. It's a good time for it after their caution, and run around here. You won't miss any of the action. We'll go side by side, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. It will come live back to the racetrack, Las Vegas, with the Rowdy Energy Cup Series. Shane Posey leading them around alongside J.D. Woodward. They've got Joe Goss here in third, and the 25 of Brandon Lowe's stacked up, taking us to the green this time by. Will be underway lap 84 of 140 here. Drivers are back underway. So is this race. These drivers got just what the doctor ordered with the caution flag, getting a full tank of fuel and fresh rubber, getting out here and just about resetting the race here, getting stacked back up. We'll take them here, hopefully clean and green the rest of the way. The 47 and 25 get together up top. Woodward and Brandon Lowe's, they get a little bit of a draft help there going, but that'll break now as the 25 dives below. Got the 83 of Shane Posey, Joe Gauthier right behind them. Brandon Lowe's trying to mix it up here up front. Running third currently, going to try to come up and possibly get some of those ever famous bonus points for leading a lap. He's got some work to do before he can get there.
Absolutely. And another one to keep your eye on is the 98 of Shane Newens. He was in danger of going a lap down there for a little bit, as here comes Ryan Worley in the 00. Now, Worley is 74 laps down as the car would not start early in the event. Finally able to get it fired and underway. But Newens, one of your playoff contenders, starting to lose a little bit of ground here. Now, you got to remember, Newens coming from Australia, and he's running in a North American series. But right now, Shane Posey looking to play spoiler as Brandon Lowe's, another Joe Gauthier, playoff contender, Brandon Lowe's, playoff contender, and Greg Marconi, playoff contender, as well as J.D. Woodward, Mark McFadden, Shane Newens, and Jason Papp and Connor Travari. So right now, at the front of this thing, Worley and Posey are the only two left that could play spoiler here tonight, as everybody else is in the playoffs. So Posey right now has his teammate right behind him, as here comes Lowe's to the high side. A little bit of a slingshot move. He left the inside open. Worley's going to shut the door. Worley looking to try to get one of his laps back the hard way.
Yeah, the 00 had a head of steam there. Almost had nowhere to go. Had to check up. But, noticing a lot of these cars will get sucked up, and you gotta make a quick decision of which way you're gonna go. And unfortunately, as soon as you do, you kind of lose that run a little bit. The 25 falls back just a little bit now, but he'll catch right back up if he can stay in that slipstream of the 67. But opting to run a little bit of a higher line there. If he could get some help from Connor Travari.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Those two would rather slit their own wrists and paint the walls than work with each other.
Understood. Well,
but
we'll see
right
how this
now,
plays out.
Lowe's does have a little bit of help from Travari. They seem to play a little bit nicer together than most of the other kids on the playground. But they've got to deal with the teammates on that inside line. That's the two Nerditudes drivers of Posey and Gauthier, working very well with each other, able to communicate in their own Discord channel. As here comes Greg Marconi in the 12, as they're 3 wide, and that's the lap car of Worley in the middle. Here comes the 25 of Lowe's. Give the lap lead to the 25. Red Bull, Toyota Camry.
Posey doesn't let him have it
Chevy
too
Camaro.
easily.
Absolutely, is Posey with a great run going into one. Full send it mode.
And a big head of steam there in that one. He pulls away just a little bit because of it.
Absolutely. And he's going to bring his teammate with him, and Greg Marconi looking to follow them through. Oh, little bit of a touch to the apron for Gauthier. Has to chase it up the track a little bit. Luckily, heads up driving by the 25 of Lowe's. Here comes Marconi. He's down on the apron. He's got to be careful. He's got Woodward to his outside.
Yeah, almost 3 wide there, and the one right behind the 47, that all black car. Now door to door with Marconi in the 12. Things continue to shuffle around, but one thing's been pretty consistent is that 83 up front really looking to spoil this race for the rest of these playoff drivers. Now the 00 there of Ryan Worley, also one of the non-playoff drivers. He is a lap down, but able to stay up here and run with these guys.
Wow. They were 3 wide for a second there. And J.D. Woodward had to have a terrifying moment, as did Jason Papp. More so for Woodward, because the worst thing you can hear your driver say, and I'm sure you can attest to this, is 3 wide, you're the meat.
Yeah. You definitely don't want to be the meat.
Lowe's able to wrestle second place away from Gautier right now, looking to get a little bit of side draft off of Posey as they come off a 2. Drag race down the Nellis back straightaway. Head of steam for Brandon Lowe's as they haul it off into turn number 3. Gets the clear on corner entry and is trying to bring Connor Trafari with him.
Just about cuts the nose off the 83 to dive down into that front line and throw that block. He, no matter whether he likes it or not, he's going to get a little bit of help from that 9. And they got no choice right now but to help each other. But that 9, I'm sure as soon as he can get clear, that 83 is going to dive down. Unable to do it this time by. Or this corner, I should say.
Posey with a little more momentum coming into turn number 3. Trafari with a nose out in front of the 83. Now, mind you, Trafari is 2 laps down, so he's looking to get one of his laps back the hard way to put him back on the same lap as Jason Papp. And like we were talking, every bonus point counts. Papp currently sitting in 8th, Trafari back in 9th. So that would be, I believe, a 4-point swing either way, depending on who can finish ahead of whom, as Lowe's continues to show the way. Posey trying to battle back, but he's got that lap car of Trafari on his high side, and arch nemesis in that second lane too is Trafari and Shocker Greg Marconi starting to work together a little bit. And there goes Trafari to the inside and nose out front. Trafari's got one of his 2 laps back.
Trafari will get up in front of the leaders, get his lap back the old-fashioned way. The 83 will relinquish that, but the 25 is still fighting back in that Red Bull car at the top line. Brandon Lowe's, he was able to make his car pretty wide and block the bottom end. Oh, he's going to get a little loose there.
It looked like netcode.
Yeah, I was going to say he got a little loose, but of no fault of anybody but the sim. Everybody stay straight. That was a little bit of a touch there, however.
Yeah, that kind of looked like what happened to Kurt Busch at... Jeez!
Man, that's not cool, iRacing.
It kind of looked like what happened to Kurt Busch at Richmond, but good grief.
Yeah, that 25 car just slid across the track in an inhumane way. Or that definitely defied physics there, as the 83 will lead them down. 25 Brandon Lowe's right behind. Oh, we got some trouble.
That's Trafari. And that's a basilar skull fracture waiting to happen. He hit that wall hard
And
going into
me,
1.
I'm going to have to rewind it. I didn't get any indication of a wreck, and I don't want to miss this. So I'm going to do it the old-fashioned rewind way.
And
Just
that
what happened.
No, that was actual contact between Trafari and Gautier. Trafari was trying to pinch down. Gautier was trying to corner entry.
The 9's going to find the outside wall, almost get flipped by it.
So that is pretty much going to do it for Trafari tonight. Going to have to go pit side to get that right side damage fixed. Because he is way off the pace right now. That car has absolutely no speed.
Yeah, and I believe the 9 has already used his fast repair.
He did.
So that's probably going to put a nail in his team's coffin tonight for side-by-side for the lead up front.
Oh, McFadden has to chase it down the track coming down the back straightaway. That could have ended poorly, but heads up driving and great wheelman work before the driver of the 5, as right now those 2 Nerditudes cars, the 83 of Posey and the 67, of Gautier, we're putting everybody else on blast that if you want to win this race tonight, you got to go through the two of them to get it. As that's Worley working to the inside of Woodward right now. And mind you, Worley is a lap down. Woodward dives in between Marconi and Worley. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for what's coming through my mic, but anyways, the 25 of Lowe's trying to make something happen here. As
Lowe's
Jason, go ahead.
Lowe's is sitting there in third, currently eyeballing up the leader in second place. They're trying to make consider what his next move might be.
I dare say he's trying to figure out how he's got to time his run to try to make something happen here.
To get a little shove from the 00 of Ryan Worley. But it's kind of what he was hoping for. Maybe not so hard of a shove, but he really needs some help from that 00 if he's going to catch back up to these front two.
Absolutely.
I don't think his car's quite as fast as the 00. Who's got... actually, I'm seeing he pitted last on lap 7. Is that accurate? Yeah. He's actually got some...
No. Lap 7 for him. He's currently 74 laps down.
Right.
And he did come under that last caution. Contact going into one.
Oh man, the 25 goes for a wild ride.
And that is going to bring out caution number 2 here tonight. As it looked like McFadden had a run on the 25 going into one. Lowe's tried to slam the door, and unfortunately McFadden was there and double kiss into the wall head first. And just like that, the Red Bull Chevy Camaro is a pavement modified.
Man, Jason Papp just got by that wreck. Almost got a huge piece of that. Luckily for him, he did not. But yeah, that 25 is going to get some heavy damage. His crew grabbing the... Well, he doesn't even have a hood, but I don't think the bats and the hammers are going to help him much at all.
Nah, he's got to bring out the backup. Time to burn the fast repair. As I believe that is going to put Jason Papp now back on the lead lap. Once they get back to the start-finish line, he should get the free pass because he did not have contact there, I believe. Connor Trafari bringing his car pit side to try to get as much damage fixed as he possibly can. And wholesale pit stops, yes. Wholesale pit stops for all the lead lap cars. As Worley's going to stay out. Papp now gets the free pass, and he's going to go around the pace truck to get his lap back. So we now have 8 drivers on the lead lap. Trafari getting damage fixed in 9th. Worley currently 73 laps down. But he is going to be able to make up some spots as Nick Wing in 10th is currently 59 laps down, so enough time for Worley to get by Wing, and Henry Wyndham is only 1 lap in front, or 1 lap behind Wing. So those 12 laps that Worley has to make up, he only has to make up 13 more laps on these guys, and he's got a top 10 here tonight. And Braden Black in the 36 electing to not start.
Well, this is surely going to make things interesting here for the end of the race, as all these drivers have some fresh tires, full tank of fuel, and we'll definitely be able to make it the rest of the way here.
Yeah, absolutely. Is Papp going to bring it pit side this time to get his for Mr. Feelgoods and tank of fuel, as Worley peels off to do the same. Woodward winning the battle off pit road, getting out in front of Joe Gautier. Greg Marconi coming out in 3rd, Newens in 4th, and Shane Posey rounding out your top 5. Looks like Posey had to get a little bit of damage fixed on the 83, and I mean, those guys were getting a little rough and tumble, beating and banging up there towards the front of this thing. as Brandon Lowe's was able to burn his fast repair, but is going to be on the tail end of the longest line, being as he entered a closed pit to do so. So we now have 8 cars on the lead lap. Jason Papp getting his final lap back. Connor Trafari now sits 5 laps down. He's been in pit road for almost 3 full minutes. So it's a long night for the number 9. Nick Wing has retired. Henry Wyndham has retired. Braden Black electing not to start. So we do have 10 cars still running. Ryan Worley currently sitting 74 laps down after not being able to fire that car during the grid up session. Now the last car is still running, although be it in 12th currently and about to move up the ladder.
Yeah, I would say what we're gonna see is a 30-lap shootout for the win. I'm thinking. I don't think we're gonna see that yellow flag come out again. Although I'll knock on wood, it very well could. But these guys seem to know how to get it done with 4 wheels, and you know, we've had a couple of incidents on the racetrack, but nothing too major. Everything, you know, pretty clean and green. If they can go clean and green for the next 30, we will be crossing that checkered and crowning a victor here tonight at Las Vegas. See if they can get it done.
So being as we are in Sin City, go ahead and place your bets, folks, if you think we are or are not going to see another yellow flag. And considering that Cliff just jinxed the rest of the field, you can go ahead and get your hate mail coming now. That's Cliff Corvo, care of ESPN Towers, Boston, Massachusetts, P.O. Box OU812.
They just got here.
Yeah, and you're already about to get hate mail.
Fair
Welcome to
enough.
the joint.
Nobody likes the curse. Hopefully I didn't just curse the field as the pace lights are off on the truck. We'll go green next time by for hopefully 30 more laps until the end. Of course, stay tuned at the end. We'll get a word from our top 3 drivers, get their perspective. The pace car is off. 12's gonna jump right to the bumper of the 47, looking to give him a big push as the green will fly.
Green flag comes out. Woodward pulls the trigger. Marconi goes with him, working to the inside of Gautier. Now Gautier has his teammate, the 83 of Posey, working to the inside. Look for Gautier to jump down. There he goes to get into the slipstream of his teammate. That is Shane Newens on the extreme high side, working the outside of Brandon Lowe's. Here comes Jason Papp to the inside as well. Now Papp is back on the lead lap, currently sitting in 6th. So Newens and Papp, that is for position, as well as Lowe's. Papp with a run. Marconi with a nose out front for the lead, getting a decent arrow shove from Shane Posey. Posey trying to work the outside. Marconi playing both halves against the middle as they haul it off into turn number 1.
Yeah, he's trying to block the high side and the low side. It's what he's going to have to do to get a win done here tonight. As you've seen all night, either of these rows can go top or bottom as long as you get enough cars and some aero there to help you. But Marconi pulling away a little bit as the 47 of Woodward and Posey are door to door behind him. That's what he really wants to see. The rest of the field battling it out behind him. He'll try to just stay out here out front for the rest of these laps. But he's got a whole host of cars that are looking to do the same. He's got a whole field to hold off here. We'll see if Marconi can get it done or if Posey will come up and spoil this one. Less than 30 to go.
Woodward working the inside of Posey right now. Posey with a head of steam. He's got the 25 of Lowe's for help on that high line. As, whoa, Woodward pinches up, almost puts Posey into the wall, as that is Posey's teammate, Joe Gautier, right behind him. And here comes Papp. So 3 dudes racing drivers up into this lead pack right now, albeit the 00 of Worley is still multiple laps down as Marconi throws the huge block on Woodward going into 3.
Yeah, Woodward really starting to put on the pressure now. Marconi is having to block a lot more than he'd probably like, but 47's got a big head of steam trying to get up to the point. 83's pushing him. The 12 can't make his car wide enough.
Absolutely. As word from the pits, Connor Trafari has said no mas for the Nick Kessler Racing number 9. Put it on the hauler. Looks like he's going to be able to salvage 9th place out of this tonight. So not as bad as it could have been, as Woodward and Gautier almost get into each other coming off a 4.
Yeah, the 47 fell way back there, almost back to 4th. He'll hold on to 3rd now. He's going to have to fight off Gautier, who got the 1 there of Jason Papp. Don't Look Now got his lap back, and now currently rolling in 4th place.
Absolutely, and that just goes to show you that you can just keep slugging away at it and have the chips fall your way here at Sin City. As Gautier looks to the outside, Marconi tries to throw the block, realizes he doesn't have room, drops back down in front of Woodward. Woodward gives him a shove going into 1. Side by side for 2nd. Good grief.
25 to go. Looks like more like the last lap here, as they are nose to tail coming across the line there. 47 pushing the 12. This one's going to get real interesting when it comes down to 2 or 3 to go. We've seen a number of driver changes for the lead throughout the night. Don't Look Now. Now you're Jason, number 1 of Jason Papp, going for the lead here.
Absolutely. Is Marconi and Papp, the 2 teammates, now up at the front of this piece. And Don't Look Now, but here comes Brandon Lowe's as well. Now you got to wonder, Marconi's gotten his bonus point. Is he going to try to help Papp get one too? As Papp goes to the inside, Marconi throws the block on his teammate.
I did not expect that. I thought he was actually letting him get by for that bonus point, as you were speaking of, but closes the door on him, decides to take the push instead. But it looks like the 1 might be a little bit faster, so it might behoove him to let him get up front and kind of jump in his draft there for the next 20 laps or so.
You're not wrong, as that last time by, Papp was a 38.01. Marconi was a 38.28. As Papp throws a big one to the inside to block Brandon Lowe's, gets the shove, nose out front for Papp. It's about to be bonus point time for the driver of the Ace.
Another driver gets another, or his first bonus point at least. He comes all the way from laps down to lead this thing. I'm pretty amazed here as a 25 giving him a push. What an amazing run for that number 1 car.
Absolutely. And the thing is, Papp has shown speed all season long. The only problem is he's just been a victim of circumstance way too many times and is still looking for that elusive first win on the season. Could we see it here tonight in Sin City? We're about to find out in 21 laps, as Lowe's looking to the inside of Papp going into 1. Gautier looking to go with him, and don't count out Posey, as he's right there as well.
None of these drivers are going to lay down and let any of the other ones win this thing. To win here tonight, you are going to have to fight hard, and you're probably going to have to beat the rest of these front runners, 5 or 6 cars at the very least.
As Posey almost getting into the wall coming off of 4, as that's his teammate Gautier and the lap car Worley sending him up the track. Did I lose you, sir?
No, I'm still here. I'm just getting some, my computer's yelling at me for some reason. 19 to go. Let's try to stay with it. Hopefully we don't lose you here at the end.
Absolutely. As Lowe's continuing to show the way, as Woodward looking to the inside of Papp now. Here comes Gautier to the outside of Woodward.
I still can't believe how hard this number 1 car has worked to get back up here. He's running 2nd place now. I counted him out a ways back, and I was very wrong about that driver there. I almost said young man. I really don't even know how old he is or anything about him.
He's younger than we are.
So that young man has done a hell of a job getting up here to run 2nd place all the way back from being laps down. Possibly get a chance at the win here. So I'm very amazed there.
Absolutely. As looks like Marconi has had some problems. He's starting to slip back. That's Mark McFadden on his high side. And they are starting to make things happen back there, trying to battle for the 5th spot. That's Marconi, Woodward, and Posey slugging it out.
Oh, we got trouble. The 83 gets a push from the 12 and turns him around. That's not what you want to see here towards the end of this one.
Absolutely not. And it looks like that started. Posey was trying to split the gap, like you see those videos of dash cams, trying to make a 2-lane change. Unfortunately, McFadden was there. Posey didn't have the room, got into McFadden, jumped down, got into Marconi, and unfortunately, Shane Posey made the wrong move at the wrong time, and that is going to hurt, as he is now going to definitely have to burn his fast repair. As
Yeah, substantial damage there to that 83.
yeah. Oh yeah, no, that car's a mess. He's definitely going to have to go to the fast repair to get that fixed as he finally catches up to the tail end of the field. Wholesale pit stops. The only one staying out though is Jason Papp. 17 laps into this tire run, hoping he's going to be able to hang on for what is going to basically equate to just about a 10-lap dash.
Yeah, I mean, he just spent almost his entire race trying to get here. I don't think he's ready to give it up for anything.
But the problem is going to be, and this is something that, we've seen time and time again at these mile and a halves, Pap's got 18 laps on his tires.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt, especially with how much mechanical grip really helps early on in the runs here. This is definitely not something. Actually, he stayed out to get the lap lead. Guarantee the lap lead.
Oh, okay.
So he might be coming down this time.
That might make more sense. You kind of put me back in my place there thinking about these older tires. Even if he did get a good start, the second he does, all these cars are going to come freight training by him. So let's see what he does do here. I think you're right. I think he's probably going to come in this time. I didn't know that he didn't. I thought he actually did lead that lap. Maybe he didn't.
I think he did, but he just wanted to guarantee it.
Well, maybe. Looks like he's going
to stay
he
stays out.
Well, rolling the dice here in Las Vegas, eh?
Okay, then.
Well,
bet it all on black and hope it doesn't come up green.
Yeah, you better be easy on that throttle when that green does come out, as we'll have just about 12 laps to go when we get ready to go.
And it looks like Shane Posey has already burned his fast repair, as he's now almost 2 full minutes on pit road, trying to get that number 83 fixed. So definitely not a good time there. So good news for the number 9. He's not going to be able to lose any more spots than he currently is. So he is going to finish in 9th. Ryan Worley is going to get a top 10. Nick Wing has retired, going to get 11th. Henry Wyndham in 12th is going to get, is going to get 12th, and then Braden Black did not start. So we currently have 8 cars still running, although Worley still 73 laps down currently. As I believe we are going to get 1 to go, this time across the stripe. Papp, Lowe's, Woodward, Gautier, McFadden, Newens, and Marconi, your current lead lap cars. As Posey, again, still in pit road. Good news for him. He's going to be able to salvage 8th no matter what, as everybody behind him cannot catch him lap-wise.
Yeah, I'm wondering with how much damage he's got if we're going to see him return.
Probably not.
Yeah, I'm thinking his day might be done. Unfortunately, hoping for an upset here tonight. Gonna take that car to the hauler.
Well, that engine twiffed just as he was getting into his pit stall.
Aha.
So we are going to get a restart. It looks like with 12 laps to go, Papp on the 20-lap older tires gonna have the button, and everybody behind him has fresh shoes. So it looks like Papp's just hoping to, get a top 7 here tonight, as Posey has put it on the hauler.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Papp with the older tires, it's probably going to be survival for him here for the next 12 laps to see how many he can try to not lose. But hey, you know, I think he was right to roll the dice because even if he does fall all the way to the back, like you said, he's still gonna walk away here with 7th at least.
which is a decent points night.
Absolutely.
And, we'll see what happens here as field working its way out of turn 4 for what we hope is going to be the final restart of the race. Now, mind you, these guys do have overtime available if needed, but pace truck is in. Pap has the button, gets into the restart zone, and green flag is in the air. Pap rolls into it, almost gets tagged by JD Woodward, and that's Brandon Lowe's on the high side with the nose out front on the fresher rubber, able to mat it and get the clear going into 1.
Yeah, Pap in that one car was able to get a pretty good start, but watch as he will start to probably fall like a rock if he can't hang on to these front runners. Older tires, if he can't stay with it, he's gonna have to let up and he will fall back pretty quickly. As we see the 47 trying to get by him now. That's Woodward going for 2nd place. They're side by side. He'll make this pass pretty easily. And it's just going to be survival now for the 1 and everybody else as well, because they're going to have to try to get by him as he tries to fight for his best position he can. 3 wide. The 1 out top on the older tires. Everyone trying to, or not everyone, but everyone behind him trying to get by him. He's going to cause a little bit of a log jam. We come by the line, it'll be 10 to go. So far that 1 is hanging on to 2nd place. The 67 Joe Gautier is really going to want to get by him as soon as possible. But the 1 is so far holding on pretty well.
Absolutely, as Gautier gave Pap a ton of help down that back straightaway, as Woodward and Marconi were inside and had 0 drafting help right now. Marconi has hemorrhaged spots, currently sitting in 6th. As here comes Gautier to the high side, drops back down to get a little bit of a draft off of Pap. And Brandon Lowe's has got to be loving this in his rearview mirror, as that's Worley working to the outside of Woodward, trying to help his teammate in the 12 get by both these guys. And that's Mark McFadden with the top 5 right now in that Captain Caveman Ford Mustang, working the way down the back straightaway. 2 Mustangs working together. That's Marconi and McFadden on the inside, getting around Worley. They've got a lot of headway to try to make up if they're going to reel in this top group. As right now, Lowe's, Pap, and Gautier trying to reel each other in, as we are now 8 laps to go. Lowe's shows the way.
Surprised that this 1 car is able to hold on to 2nd place. You see him fall back just a little bit each time through the corner. And as you see now, it looks like the 67 might get by him. I think it does. He grabs 2nd place. The 1 will fall back to at least 3rd and possibly get passed by the 47. Full survival mode now for the number 1. Fighting this hard to stay up front with older tires. They're definitely going to fade quicker than they should. Side by side almost for the lead. The 67 jumps out to try to make something happen. Doesn't. Jumps back in. They'll use that draft to line them up. We come down the back stretch with 7 to go. We'll have 6 left as we cross the line. The 1 of Jason Pat falls back to 4th. Our top 3 are nose to tail, pushing each other down. The front stretch here will come across the line. 6 to go.
Woodward was giving Gautier a good shove going down the front stretch. And the good news for Jason Pap, he's got 2 friendly faces behind him. That's his teammates Marconi and Worley, as Mark McFadden, unfortunately, starting to fall off a little bit, currently sitting in the 6th spot. As Lowe's continues to show the way, we are going to be 5 to go this time across the stripe. Lowe's shows the way. Gautier swings it high. Lowe's down on the apron. Gautier trying to pinch him down there, not giving him a ton of room, as Gautier with a head of steam and a little bit more momentum, as Lowe's tries to battle back on that low side. No help for Gautier, but here comes the cavalry, as that is Greg Marconi in the 12, still side by side for the lead. Gautier on the high side, Lowe's on the inside. Marconi now in the slipstream of Gautier, looking to push the 67 and hopefully get by the 25 himself, as Marconi abandons the 67, drops down in front of the 25 to block off the run that Woodward had in the 47. 4 to go right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not let your eyes remove themselves from the TV. This is an amazing battle here till the end. 4 laps to go. They are jockeying for position. Everyone trying to get up to the bumper of Brandon Lowe's here, who's been leading for the better half of the, or not the half, or towards the end of this race at least. 12 is back up here though. Greg McConey trying to make something happen. We just saw him work his way up, 5 spots now to get to second. With 3 laps to go.
Contact. Gautier and Woodward getting into it, going through 1 and 2. Gautier was trying to pinch Woodward down. Woodward having none of it. Trying to side draft down the Nellis back straightaway. More contact going into 3. 2 laps to go. Popsicle Sticks getting ready to go into the air. Lowe shows the way. Marconi sitting in second. He's going to have 3 miles to get it done on this 1.5 miles. 2 laps to go. Lowe's, Marconi, Woodward, your top 3. Here comes McFadden with a run. Trying to get now back into the top 5 as he's slugging it out with Worley. Worley trying to give his teammate Pap some drafting help as Marconi all over the back bumper of Lowe's. And this is going to be a hornet's nest coming to the finish as Marconi and Lowe's almost get into it. Lowe's pinching Marconi up. That's going to open the door for Woodward. Contact.
The 25 goes around and he's in the inside wall. White flag is out. No caution. The 12 pulls away from Gautier and Woodward as they'll come down the final 2 corners here. Let's see if McConey's got a big enough lead to hold these guys off.
Gautier is going to have one final shot at him. Coming off of turn number 4. Head of steam for the 67. Drag race to the line. Give it to Marconi by a car length. Gautier hanging out for second. Woodward coming home in third. McFadden, 4th place. Jason Papp rounding out your top 5 as Shane Newen's going to grab 6th. Brandon Lowe's relegated to 7th after he tried to block the high line, tried to block the low line. The only problem is there was a car there when he tried to make that second move.
Take a look if you can, go back real quick. It came down across the nose of the 47, unfortunately. That'll send him packing into the inside wall.
Absolutely. Is Greg Marconi going to do those obligatory victory donuts? And, definitely cannot say that that I am opposed to seeing those. That was a hard-fought victory here tonight, and able to make it happen there, as looks like Woodward is the only one we do not have in the Discord server. But little victory lap action there for Marconi, as we are going to reach out to the winner, Greg Marconi, right now. Greg, you punched your ticket into the round of 8. Talk us through what you just saw going on, taking that white flag lap.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, that was absolutely crazy there. I knew that outside would only work if I had some help. So I was able to kind of dive back to the inside. In all honesty, I hardly remember what happened, because I just remember, I was looking in that rear view the whole time. But, I was racing Lowe's. Sad to see him get turned there with JD. Thought I had a shot on him on the outside there where I would have been able to get the run. And then, saw that happen. And it was all just draft management and making sure Joe didn't get too big of a run to get back to me. Scared me there for a little bit. I thought he was going to have me. But, no, that's cool. Round of 8, let's go. No worries next week at Talladega. Get to go out and have some fun. And then Roval, kind of it just takes all the pressure away. Makes it feel so much better.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that's a big relief. Now, you did mention that we are going to be at one of the plate tracks next week, the biggest one of them all, and that is the Talladega Super Speedway. Now, we've seen it before with plate tracks in these cars. Talk us through your thoughts going into next week's race.
So, yeah, we've ran these cars at Talladega a couple weeks ago, actually. Then we did the same at Daytona. But these where we struggle is these cars just don't put on a great show, and that's what we hate. This league we strive to bring the best show that we can to the audience, and so we're having a couple talks internally between the admins. There may be a changeup of car, and be the only time that we change cars. Uh, and we would probably change it to something that's a little more exciting on plate tracks. Just because it's
Xfinity.
nothing against, yeah, that's kind of where we've been talking. So for the folks that watch us on Fridays, we run the Xfinity cars a lot. We run the trucks a lot, and those cars put on fantastic shows. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, I just kind of get to, if we do keep these cars, just get to go out and, either take home the checkered or take home the wheel in my hand.
Well, there you go. You're going to be hoping to play spoiler in the next 2 rounds of the round of 12. But Greg, before we let you go celebrate with the rest of your team, and that was a hell of a victory, and you can pass along the congratulations to Jason Papp as well, coming home with a top 5 finish after being 2 laps down at one point. But yeah, Dudes Racing definitely had some strong cars here tonight. But you guys just put on one hell of a show. But Greg, before we let you go, is there anybody you need to thank?
Yeah, we got to thank all our sponsors: Rowdy Energy, Circle B Diecast, iRacing iFlag, Butt Kicker, Midwest Motor Customs. Thank the guys at Dudes Racing, Jason, and then Ryan when he was able to finally get in. Yeah, we had a good showing tonight. Jason with the top 5. That he needed a good points night like that. I got to thank and shout out the wife and the family that I know are watching.
Thanks, honey.
Yeah, thanks, honey. Thanks for watching the baby again. And then thank you guys. It's great what happened with ESPN with the merge, and I'm honored to be able to say I won the last Friday ESPN show, and I won the first Monday ESPN show. So
well, just so you know, the ESPN name is not going anywhere, and we'll still be here broadcasting your show under the ESPN flag next week.
Awesome, man. Think you guys.
Think of it the way that Viacom bought MTV.
Yeah, we're gonna, you guys always put on a great show. We know that week in, week out. That's why we love working with you guys. But can't wait to go back and watch. And yeah, round of 8, here we go.
All right, Greg, again, congratulations on punching your ticket to the round of 8. No pressure next week. I believe you're going to be looking to play spoiler, and we'll talk to you hopefully again next week.
Sounds good, Frank. See you guys.
This is Tony, not Frank.
Sorry, Tony. My bad, man.
Frank has left the building.
Yes, he has. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Have fun.
All right. So that was our winner, Greg Marconi. And Cliff, I believe you have our second place finisher, Mr. Joe Gautier, with you now.
Joe Gautier, it's Cliff in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, heck of a show there. I appreciate the amazing race that you put on for us, you and the rest of the guys out there. Take us down those last, I'd say, 3 or 4 laps there where it really got mixed up at the end. What was going through your mind there?
I was just trying to side draft him as hard as I could. JD got into me just a little bit, so I could regroup and take one more run at it to try and get Greg.
Well, fair enough. It was a very wild race. A lot of jockeying for position. So I can't thank you enough for really coming out and putting on a great show for me to call for the first race here. Hopefully we got plenty of them. And hopefully we get to talk to you next week when we lead into some plate track racing. Any worries with that being a playoff contender and going to a plate track race?
And we don't know what car we're using next week yet either.
Yeah, so I really don't know. I just leave it all to fate.
Yeah, that's fair enough, man. Well, congrats again on your P2. Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to thank our sponsors for the league: Circle B Diecast, Rowdy Energy, iRacing iFlag, Butt Kicker, Midwest Motor Customs, and especially iRacing E Series and Greg McConey and Jason Papp. They're the best, man.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you as well. We'll send you back to celebrate, and hopefully we get to talk to you again next week.
All right, guys. God bless you. Be safe.
See you at Dega, Joe.
Yes, sir.
So that was our second place finisher, Joe Gautier, and joining me now, all things considered, can't be too disappointed, but maybe a little wound up after that melee on the last lap. Coming home in third place, Mr. JD Woodward. JD, all things considered, and as strong as run you had tonight, you can't be too awful disappointed in the third place finish.
Yeah, not too upset. Just kind of frustrated there at the end coming to the White House race, but I guess that's part of it. Still was able to get a podium, so that's good. And 3 straight top threes, and pretty good way to start this next round of the playoffs.
Absolutely, and this is going to be a real strong points night for you. As while you didn't punch your ticket to the round of 8 yet, you should jump. Yeah, I'm looking at the points right now, just doing my high-powered gazintas in my head. You should jump Brandon Lowe's, and you're definitely going to jump Javon Cherry in the point standings. So that should put you, I believe, in second place going into next week's Talladega race. Although we don't know what car you guys are going to be running yet.
Oh, we don't know what car we're running yet?
Well, they have already made the announcement that they don't really want to run this car. So for the only time this season, they're talking about putting a substitute car in place. We are definitely running Talladega, but we're going to be in one of the older generation of stock cars. Not sure exactly which one yet. Your thoughts going into that, though?
Yeah, that's the first I've heard of that. But yeah, I hope we don't run this next gen because the racing in this next gen at the super speedways is just so boring. It's just single file, and you got to have at least 4 cars or more that are really outnumbering the bottom if you want to even try to get that outside line going. So yeah, I hope we do run the current cars that they run in real life at Talladega next week.
Well, it's most likely going to be either the current crop of Cup car that they run in the real world, or possibly I've heard the Xfinity car is another possibility, considering both those series put on great shows on the Friday night racing that the iRacing East Series does. But JD, you had a strong night all night. It just hats off to you, sir. Able to get that all important bonus point for leading one lap.
Yeah, and I think we got another one for fastest lap of the race.
Let me take a quick peek here. Yes, sir, you did by a full 10th. So congratulations on that. And unfortunately, you didn't get the bonus point for clean race. As a matter of fact, nobody ended with 0 incidents that actually took the green. So, JD, before we let you go and try to get your game plan together for Dega, is there anybody you need to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank everyone who comes out and watches the races, and then my parents for supporting me, and then y'all for broadcasting, and the sponsors of this league, Circle B Diecast and Rowdy Energy, and iRacing, iFlag, Butt Kicker, and then Midwest Motor Customs. We couldn't do it without them.
Absolutely, JD, and we're looking forward to seeing what you can do at Dega next week, because in the past we've seen you be real strong at those plate tracks.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right. Again, JD, congratulations. We'll see you next week.
All right, thank you.
So, Cliff, your first race with the Rowdy Energy Cup Series, your thoughts?
I enjoyed every minute of it. These guys clearly have a great thing going on. They know how to race. They know how to race hard. And, we saw multiple lead changes right off the bat. Everyone up here coming to lead a bonus lap, so we can see just how important those bonus laps are around here. And we can see that no one here is less talented, I think, than anybody else. I think the only drivers who didn't really have a shot at it were ones that were caught up in some race incidents, and I didn't see much else,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was just hard racing. I mean, that's the only way you can really describe all the incidents that we saw tonight. It was just hard racing, and like you heard Marconi say in his interview, the aero package on this car, you've really got to be aggressive to make something happen.
And aggressive they were. They were nose to tail when it mattered, coming all the way down the backstretch. Like I said, this is one of the only races at Las Vegas I've ever seen this much drafting down the backstretch that was very vindicative of a Talladega or a plate race. So yeah, I definitely can see that. And you were mentioning at the beginning of the show how if you are too aggressive, you got that diffuser back there. So a whole bunch of stuff to worry about here with these next gen cars. But either way, the Rowdy Energy Cup Series guys put on a show. That's hands down. I don't think it's gonna matter what car they run next week. You're gonna get a good show.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's indicative of what we see on Friday nights, because they run a different car every week during the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series, brought to you by the iRacing East Series. So a lot of these guys we're going to see again on Friday night, and possibly be able to use that as a test and tune session going into Monday to try to figure out what they need to do to join Greg Marconi in punching their ticket into the round of 8. Quick rundown of the finishing order. Greg Marconi coming home with the victory, securing his spot in the next round of the playoffs. Joe Gautier, great points night for him, coming home in second. Same thing with J.D. Woodward, Mark McFadden, Jason Papp rounding out your top 5. Shane Newland's coming home in 6th, so good finish for him. Brandon Lowe's, after having that last lap melee, unfortunately coming home in 7th. Shane Posey rounding out your top 8. Now, Lowe's was the last one to finish on the lead lap. Posey was 15 laps down. Connor Shafari in 9th. Ryan Worley rounding out your top 10 after having a late start to the race. Nick Wing and Henry Wyndham both putting it on the hauler for 11th and 12th, and Braden Black choosing not to start. So that is going to do it for us tonight. Don't forget to join us tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the UK Sim Series. That is going to be Jason and Jake Sperry in the booth for that one. And then tomorrow night, I will be back, although I'm not sure who's going to be in the booth with me for it. No, I take that back. It'll be myself and Ben Bruno in the booth for the Western States Racing League. That is a 9:50 p.m. start time, I believe. So for Cliff Corvo, this is Tony Trapasso reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, as you walk down the road of life, don't play in traffic. Good night.